Magic Barrel by Bernard Malamud was a short story written in the modernism literary period, and it also shows modernistic characteristics of the modernism literary period. The story is about a young, soon-to-be Jewish rabbi called, by the name of Leo Finkel, and he is told by certain church members that before he becomes a rabbi, his congregation would like him better, and he would have a larger congregation if he was married, and he would become more popular if he had a wife. So Leo Finkel, he has been studying all this time, so he doesn't really have a social life. So he goes to the newspaper and sees that there is a marriage broker for an arranged marriage. The man is named Salzman, and he can provide a wife for Leo Finkel in an arranged marriage. And Leo Finkel at first thinks that this is a good idea. He doesn't need premarital love to get married. He just needs a suitable wife, and everything will fall into place. And so he sees the Salzman, and in the story, these characters are described in great detail, and that's one of the characteristics of modernism, as said in Mr. Langley's video. And it tells of what they smell like, what they see, what the person sees. And so you're kind of getting that standpoint from Leo Finkel, and you're seeing one of the ways that modernist writers wrote in that perspective. And then as he sees Salzman, they go through, but Leo Finkel doesn't really find anyone in his portfolio that he finds suitable. Well, Salzman recommends this one young lady. Well, Finkel goes on a blind date with her, but he does not like it. He is angry with Salzman. He is upset that he lied to him about her, and he is done with him. So he kind of just forgets the whole situation and goes back to his studies. Well, he realizes that he really does need love, and he doesn't just want an arranged marriage. He wants one where he will meet a girl that he loves. So he tries going about doing this, and Salzman leaves a package of photos for him, and he sees one, and he instantly seems to fall in love with this photo. So he goes to Salzman and asks him if he can arrange to meet this girl. He says, "I am greatly moved by this photo. I don't know why, but I am." And Salzman just seems terrified. And he says, "No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that." But Finkel is fed up with him. He's like, "No, you need to do this for me. You're a marriage broker. I want this arranged marriage to help me meet this girl." And Salzman says, "That's my daughter, and she's not good for you. She's not good for anybody, and that picture should not be in there." And Finkel would not hear of it. He's like, "Well, help me meet this girl." So at the end of this short story, you have a scene where Salzman is by a wall, and his daughter is at the corner of a street, and Finkel is going to meet her and is running towards her with some flowers, and it describes her in detail. And then the last line is saying that Salzman chants prayers for the dead, and it ends. Now, this abrupt ending has some interpretation of it, and my interpretation of it is that Salzman was perhaps saying that Finkel was no longer becoming himself. He was so obsessed with this girl that he was losing himself. And the thing with this that relates to modernism is not only are the characters perfectly described so that you can see the scene, so that you can feel what's going on, is that it pertains to their society. There are Jewish families who did pre-arranged marriage, and other families who did pre-arranged marriages, and that was part of the society back then. And so that shows how that relates to society in the modernist literary period. And also, you have something of a dark situation where Leo Fingal is trying to up himself by getting a wife. He's trying to increase his chances of being better at his job, and he's trying to improve his life as he sees it. But he's having troubles with this, and that's where kind of the depressing mood comes in, where he is arguing with Salzman. He is alone in his study. He is kind of secluded from society, and you get that kind of dark, grim feeling. But at the end, there's that glimmer of hope. As Mr. Langley's video said, modernism has that glimmer of hope, even though it's got a dark main area. There's that little glitter of hope at the end. And so you can see that there's that little hope, because Fingal finally sees the girl that he thinks he may be in love with. He finally sees that girl. So, but as he runs to her, it's possible that multiple things could happen. She was considered unclean by her father, maybe suggesting she had done bad things with her life, crimes, had done things that would be considered wrong, with the tradition also showing modernism, how the younger generation went against the older generation, and it was to make new, and new trends were coming in. So that's one way. And also that possibly Leo Fingal was also her kind of hope, because he was a rabbi, so maybe he could change her. So there's multiple little meanings in each one, where you have something dark that can change, and there's that little light of hope. And at the end of the story is open to interpretations, but it's possible that even with that little hope, there's still that darkness, that he might be losing himself. And with the story of Leo Fingal falling in love, you see how the younger generation went against some of the norms. Arranged marriages were common back then. It was easy for a family to get to know another family, and that was a way where they could ensure certain values, and ensure certain job opportunities, and to ensure certain futures. But you have the younger generation going against the norm, and having to feel loved, to be loved. And there's another characteristic, so modernism, where it went against the normal. It went outside the box. It was to make it new, as Ezra Pound said in Quinn Edwards' criticism. And so you can see how The Magic Barrel falls under the modernism literary period.